Okay. This time, I'm going to play my favorite version of my personal favorite game of all time. It's not like the mechanically best game. It's still my favorite game. There's just something about this game that scratches that itch. So I'm going to leave subtitles on. There is voice acting in this game. It's all in Japanese. This is a Japan-only game. I'm emulating it, and I'm using a fan translation. Unfortunately, that's the best I got. I wish they would release this game in the West, even though it's been decades. Or still, release it in the West digitally on, like, some storefront. Any storefront. I would buy it in a heartbeat. Still my favorite game. Let's go hard mode. No, don't continue. Alright, just gotta make sure all the settings is kept. Okay. Now this game kicks off from the very start. So pay attention. So there we got a little taste of what the battle system will look like. Unlike other RPGs of this era, the battle system is actually real time. And although that was a scripted cutscene, so you didn't really get to see it, like when you're in battle, I get to control my character, move him left and right. And unlike other battle systems, this game is has like a side-scrolling aspect. It plays sort of like a Smash Brothers style fighting game, where if you hold up and press attack, you'll do something. You hold down and press attack, you'll do something different. You hold nothing and press attack, and you'll do something different. And same goes for your special attacks. It's a really, really neat battle system. Hey, lower left-hand corner. Maybe you caught it. Maybe that means something to you. Maybe you're like the 2 people watching this that actually play with me on a certain MMO. And now you know where I got the first name of my character. So in that teaser of the battle system, we saw a group of adventurers fighting this probably a bad guy. And upon defeating him, he turned into this ball of light and flew away. And we realize here, another group of adventurers is waiting for him. Kisama, naze koko ni? Yamero! So rather than defeat this enemy, they choose to seal him away with the help of these two pendants.
これで私の家に代々続いた使命も終わりか。
So from this dialogue, or monologue, we know that the person in the upper left, in the brown cloak and turban, is a descendant of one of the original adventurers from the beginning of the scene.
十数年の月日が流れた。
But all that, just throw it in the trash. New characters, let's go. I'm sure that enemy will never be released, and the world will be at peace forever. Here we get our main character, Celeste. His father, Miguel, in the previous scene, he was among the adventurers who sealed the enemy away, so I'm sure he's important. Seems like his mother is upstairs, sick in bed. So when Celeste turned 15, his father gave to him one of the pendants used to seal away that enemy. I'm not sure how old Celeste is now. I imagine older than 15. He certainly looks like it. He's probably at least, I would say, late teens, maybe like 18, 19. But as his father is about to have that important conversation that would drive the plot along, we get this scene. Chester is speaking with his sister, and it's time for the two of us to go out hunting. So Chester comes to pick us up. And rather than actually have that important conversation with his son, Miguel just shrugs it off. He's got forever. Nothing possibly could go wrong. We'll just tell him about the pendant later. Celeste's mother is too good for this world. She's sick. She was bedridden, but still, at the very notion of her son going out hunting, she comes to see him off. And also she gives us some healing items. Alright, so that is what Celeste looks like. And that's Chester. Pretty anime. That's fine. So in the PlayStation version of this game, you start off with the technical rank, which allows you to control in manual mode. Gives you full control of your character. In the Super Nintendo game, you started off, and the only thing you could do was semi-auto mode, which left movement sort of in the hands of the AI. And you could tell when to attack, but when you pressed attack, your character would run up to the enemy, and then after it, he would run away. But in manual mode, you can just move wherever you want, jump around all day. That's what we're going to do for most of the game. The downside to manual mode is that you have to have this technical ring equipped. So I can only have one accessory with Celeste. which is really unfortunate because there's some really nice accessory combos you could use if you decided to. Also of note is that I can't really show it here, but unlike most other characters' weapons, I can show it here. Near the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, below Strength, Constitution, Agility, and Luck, you have Slash and Thrust. Those are the attack stats of Sless's weapon. Now, over here with Chester, he just has Attack. But Sless has Slash and Thrust. And what that means is all of Sless's weapons have different values for that type of attack. If you're poking an enemy with your sword or spear, you'll do thrust damage. If you're slashing it with a sword or an axe, you'll do... Did I say that right? If you're poking with a sword or spear, you'll do thrust damage. If you're slashing with a sword and axe, you'll do slash damage. So, and different special abilities he'll learn will do mainly thrust or slash. Even his basic attacks, different parts or different attacks will do thrashing or slusting damage. Did I just do thrashing or slushing? Slashing and thrusting. Wow. Wow. Anyway, we are gonna loot this town. So this couple here is gonna get married later in the month. That's good for them. Maybe we'll be there. I think we're gonna talk to Chester's sister. Now, Chester's sister, Ami, she made us a little stuffed doll of Sless. It's implied that she's got a little crush on Sless. And she's been staying up late in the night making those. More importantly, she gives us the channeling ring. Now, if I equip that on a character, and I also had a second controller plugged in, a second player could control that character. And that's how you access multiplayer in this game. And because this is like an action game, not a turn-based game, multiplayer is actually fun. Like, I think in Final Fantasy IX, you could do multiplayer, but because that game was turn-based, it was not fun. There's nothing worse than taking a turn and then waiting forever for your next turn. So this bell right here, this guy, his job is to watch out for trouble. If something catches fire, or like a bandit attack happens, he'll climb this little ladder and ring that bell, and then everyone knows that something's afoot. And obviously, because I took the time to explain that to you, you know what's gonna happen. If only I had just a little bit more money. Now, when we level up a little bit, we can start equipping arts. Now, for Sless, he can use the arts attack button, which I believe is X. Or triangle. Could be triangle. I think it's X. In addition to one of the D-pad settings here. If you just do a neutral with nothing pressed on the D-pad and your special attack button, I'm going to switch over to manual real quick. You'll do whatever's assigned here. If you press up in your special attack button, whatever's assigned there. Up to 4 at once. Now, Sless's special attacks have an experience system tied to them. You have to use each special attack 100 times to master it. and if you master them, you'll unlock something a bit later. Now, every once in a while, an NPC will give you a little side quest or just a little task, and you can do that. This one teaches you how to do some puzzles later in the game. So this statue, if you just walk into it, you can't move it. But if you hold the confirm button and then move, you're moving statues. Legend of Zelda style. I'm gonna plop that right in front of the window here. And we'll go back and get a reward. 10 gold. Well worth it. Let's go ahead and loot this town, starting with this apple gel. And we'll talk to this guy. This old man seems to like children. Not in a bad way, just appreciates the fact that children exist. So he asked us to get an apple to Chester's little sister. That's what we'll do. She gave us a doll, the least we can do is give her an apple. So, like some MMOs, when you do certain objectives, you'll gain titles that you can equip. And by making his sister a little happy, Chester has the ability to equip the Kind Brother title. Now, most titles don't do anything. But there are some occasions where if you equip a title and then go talk to somebody specific, you'll get a thing. So you want to unlock as many titles as you can, because you never know when they'll come in handy. And now that the item shop is open, we can buy some magic lenses. And this is how you enter in enemies into your bestiary, the Monster Encyclopedia. When you actually use this item on an enemy during battle, they will get entered into your Monster Encyclopedia. In addition, you'll need to get all of their drops from defeating them, and later in the game you'll need to get their items you can steal from them to fully complete the Monster Encyclopedia. Let's see. I think that's all we gotta do. So Tristan was at our house earlier, but seems like he's gotta leave. I actually don't remember if that's important at all. But whatever. We are gonna go hunting. But first, that little dialogue box showed us one of the really neat additions to this game over the Super Nintendo game. If you press select while on the world map, your characters will actually talk to each other. And there are a billion different conversations you can do, depending on how far in the game you're at, what side quest you're on, what main quest you're on, which NPC you last talked to, what item you have in your inventory. We're going to try and see all of them. I think there are 3 of them we can see right now. So, enjoy.
随分と張り切ってるな。そういうお前だって気合入ってるじゃないか。獲物をたくさん取って帰るってアミーと約束したからな。それじゃ頑張らないわけにはいかないな。ああ、そういうことだ。なあ、前から思ってたんだけどよ。アルバイン流の剣士はバンダナをする決まりでもあるのか？別にないけど。お前の親父さんや門下生なんかもバンダナをしてるじゃないか。でもトリスタン師匠はしてないよ。確かにあのじいさんハゲちまってるもんな。よし、トーティスの南の森まで狩りに行くか。大物が取れるといいな。ああ、そうだな。
Alright, and when you've actually viewed all of the skits, if you try to do a skit again, you'll be able to skip it by mashing the confirm buttons, like this.
Yes.
Like that. Alright, so before we head into the forest, let's fight around town a bit. Let's get a couple levels under our belt. I'm not gonna try and do a low-level playthrough of this game. That's way too frustrating, especially since I'm on hard mode. This is just gonna be like a normal playthrough where I do everything in the game. In manual mode, I can manually tell Celeste to jump, which makes locking down enemies really easy. The main strategy of a lot of fights is just back an enemy into a corner and then just jump on them. Celeste's downward slash deals slashing damage, obviously, so getting a weapon with a lot of slashing damage will help out. Now we gained a level, and more importantly, we gained an art. So let's equip Demon Fang to the neutral attack button. Now, down the bottom right, it'll cost 2 TP, and mastery is at 0%. We need to use it 100 times to master it. So, let's get started. We got 10 TP, means we can get 5 mastery points. I do want to gain maybe 2 or 3 more levels. Probably just 2. A new enemy, so let's do another magic lens. We do not have the monster encyclopedia yet, but we can still put enemies into it. When we do get the monster encyclopedia, these bees will automatically be in it, since we got the magic lens on them. Now, since they were flying, we couldn't really do our special attack. The demonic fang sends a shockwave on the ground, so we want to find those bugbear enemies again. I want to try and back these enemies into a corner, and then we'll start jumping. Let's get some demonic fangs out. Now, after every battle, you will restore some of your TP. See? Said T1 above the characters' heads. You'll restore a percentage of your TP, minimum of 1. So we can use 1 more demonic fang now. No. I said we can use 1 more demonic fang now. I'm gonna let Chester take care of that bird. We'll deal with these bugbears. Alright, so now Chester learned an art. Which is really important because in the Super Nintendo version of the game, Chester never learned any arts at all. He only did basic bow attacks. Now he knows a fire elemental bow attack. So already we're feeling the benefits of playing the PlayStation 1 version. So back at home, you can head into your room and get a free night's rest. Alright, I do remember I missed something. I was kind of in a hurry, and I forgot this right here. You can barely see it, but there's a chest right there. And this game absolutely loves to hide chests everywhere, especially in the later dungeons of the game. Some of the best equipment is hidden just like behind a rock. I'm gonna save over my old file here. I don't need it anymore. Let's go ahead and start making our way inside. And that right there, that little boar, that's our prey. It's a child, but it'll still feed people. I do want to look out for some treasure. Like that right there. Ah! You jerk. Alright. Let's get another apple gel and a life bottle. The apple gels are your basic restoring items, and the life bottles are your revives. What's my level at? 3? That's good enough. I wanted to check and see how to change my target, because I'm going to need that in the next story battle. Here's that boar kid again. We're going to go kill a kid. So we track the boar here, but there's no sign of it. Chester backs off to make sure we didn't pass it. Leaves us with this dead tree. And as is tradition in old JRPGs like this, if you got a tree, it's important. We're given a vision of this spirit, as well as a vision of the tree back when it was well and alive. But nowadays it is rotting and dead. She asked us not to harm the tree, but there's really nothing left to harm, so... But before we can dwell on that for very long, the boar cub comes back. And it rushes at us, because it's not alone. It brought Mama with it. So we want to run over there. What we want to do is run behind all the enemies and just attempt to kill as many children as we can. So the boar cubs drop items, and that's why we want to kill them. So what I'm going to do now is that one of the neat things you can do in this version of the game is you can pull up party members' spell list, spell and ability list. You can press L2, and that will assign it to a shortcut. And then you can hold down L2, and that party member will continuously cast that art or spell. So I'm going to have Chester here cast Hellflare until he's out of TP. Now we're just going to jump attack this boar until it's dead. Unfortunately, we did not kill all of the children. One got away to tell the story, but we did get 3 pork out of it. Now, that's not the best set of item drops we could get. Each child has a chance to also drop their pelts. So you can potentially get 3 pelts and 4 pork off that battle. The fact that we didn't get any pelts means that we're going to have to find another kid and kill it later in the game. However, we hear in the distance the town's warning bell going off. And we get the disaster music. For flying enemies, the jump attack is your best bet. You mainly want to keep them on the ground so other party members can knock at them too. That was a good battle. We got both the item drops from all 3 birds. Now we can see as soon as we get back on the world map, the village is on fire. Before that, though, you gotta remember, at every opportunity, just hit that select button on the world map and check to see if your party members have something new to say. Some of them are really interesting, some of them are really funny. Chester, upon seeing the state of the village, he cries out for his younger sister and rushes off. And we're left to just take in the devastation. Almost everyone is dead. This happy couple who are going to get married later in the month, dead. But, truth be told, that was a pretty big death flag. That was on them. Alright, you just don't... You're in an RPG, don't say you're going to get married or you're going to confess to someone when you get back home. You're going to die. That's on them. But we come across our father dying on the ground. And our mother limps out of the house, bloodied and battered. Some group of people came for the pendant Sless wears. They took his mother hostage and tortured his father, and then killed them both when they couldn't find the pendant. And just like that, Sless loses his entire family. He is not alone there. We find Chester's little sister also dead. See, Sless is trying, despite how emotional he obviously was, he's trying to be a bit pragmatic. Follow his mother's dying wishes. Go north to the town of Euclid and meet with his uncle. Try and stay safe. But Chester, he wants to stay behind and give everyone a proper burial, no matter what the dangers are. There's no guarantee that whoever did this isn't gonna come back. Unable to convince him, Sless and Chester, they part ways here. Now, Sless remembers his mother's words that the people came for his pendant, so he thinks that maybe parting ways with Chester is a good thing, that maybe he can keep Chester safe by actually being away. But that didn't really keep the town safe. Before we leave, however, on the second floor, there's a sword. And we got our first weapon upgrade of the game. And you can see it has a higher slash attack than thrust. Although this sword is just an upgrade overall, some weapons will have a downgrade of one attribute and an upgrade to another. And like that, Sless leaves his old life behind in search of safety and maybe answers as he goes out alone. Now, these battles are slightly more difficult without Chester. Ah! Just like that, enemies can just really gang up on me. See, Chester was there to just occasionally fire a shot off and interrupt enemies, but now everyone's focused entirely on me. And it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be fun at all. I'm going to cook a hamburger first. See, in addition to having restorative items, you can also cook meals. And finding all the recipes is part of the game. And different recipes will heal you for a different amount. Just using bread and chicken, it just healed me for 10% of my max HP. Which was almost enough to get me to full. Not quite, but almost. Anyway, we head north and we enter the mountain pass. The game gives us a tutorial about how to push and pull things again. This merchant will sell us stuff. And oh my god, we'll need some apple gels. I'll just get one for now, and that'll have to do me. Really wish I had more money. Oh well. So, both the left and north pathways lead to the exit, but the left pathway has nothing. The north pathway has monsters and treasure. So obviously we're going north. We can already see the increased slashing damage of this new sword. As suddenly those birds go down rather quickly. Alright, this is the first example of a pincer attack. And in manual mode, we can just run through or run past an enemy. Oh no, that was a new enemy. I should have used a magic lens on it. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. That just means I'll have to fight around here until I get that snake again. The jump attack is just really, really good. I'm loving it. These birds are easy, but I want that snake again. We did get a new art, though, which is a bit daunting because we still haven't mastered our last art. And that's going to be the name of the game for most of the game. I'm gonna run around this screen until we find another snake. Ah! That's the last place I want to be, just in between 4 bugbears. No. Alright, as long as we're getting bread from bugbears and chicken from the birds, let's take advantage of our cooking. Man, still no snakes. I guess they're a rare spawn? You know what? With the magic of recordings, I'll be back when we find some snakes. Okay, we are back with snakes. I think it took 4 battles. I think this is the first time in my playthroughs I've used the pause recording button. So now we are the gooder enough playthrough of Tales of Phantasia. I forgot to use the... I'll be back. Alright, no worries. These were just the very next battle. That's fine. I forgot to use the dang magic lens that I was... that I wanted. Oh, how embarrassing. Alright, we got their entry, though. Alright, we've done everything we can. So let's get out of here. Okay. So the northwestern house of the town is Celeste's uncle's house, but okay, that is a very convoluted way to zoom out the map during battles. Pause the game, hold down on the D-pad, and square at the same time to zoom out. I don't know, let's go try that out. The bridge to the northeast of town is collapsed, so this is all we're... Ooh, new enemies. Okay. Square, down. Okay. Oh, it actually stays zoomed out. That's neat. Let me just kill you real quick. Before this dingo eats my baby. It's magic lensing. Honestly, this is it's not a terrible way to play. Especially... Oh, that might actually be a terrible way to play, though. Interesting. There's a summon later in the game that actually interacts with the edges of the screen. So I wonder if it's possible to zoom in really far and take advantage of that. Anyway, okay, let's just head back into town. This is the item shop. The general store, baby. We're at the general store, baby! I got some decent money here. Not gonna buy anything just yet. I still want to loot the town, though, as soon as I can. I'm just gonna step on these drying fish. No! So our father, Miguel, used to be the head of the knights here, of this kingdom. That's neat. I can't buy any upgrades. I really want that chainmail. I don't want to buy a shield, though. Seems boring. I could buy a bow, but there's no one here to use it with. Now, where is the food shop? That looks like foodie. Alright, this chef will teach us about cooking, which we've already taken advantage of. But more importantly, he teaches us a new recipe. Now, most people in the game that have a chef outfit like this will teach you a new recipe. And the more you cook, the more stars you get, and the better you are at a particular recipe. Now, because I had 1 star, it did 10% of my health plus an additional 1%. So it did additional benefits based on my mastery, which is nice. I just want to knock his ball out of his hand. Am I an asshole? I guess I'll buy a wooden shield. It's only 50. I'm gonna try and stay at 10 magic lenses throughout most of the game. I could use some more bread. Give me +1 defense. Good enough. Good enough, sir. Good enough. Alright. I don't think there's anything else in this town. So let's talk to our uncle here. That's not our uncle. They've already heard that our hometown has been attacked. And they graciously offer... They offer their own home for us to use. They're gonna take us in and keep us safe. Now we're free to go sleep in our new bed. And this is where we're going to spend the rest of the game. And we'll start off next time. We'll end off here. We did a pretty good amount here. We killed a boar, we witnessed the total annihilation of our village, and we traveled to our uncle. So that's nice. Next time, we'll go sleep in our new bed and just sleep off all this nastiness. It's going to be better. I promise. Till then, I'll see you.